Greetings, stowaways. This episode comes with a content warning for alcoholism. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Robbie, Goblin Brain, Bellekom, Sam.
Yes.
Let's all ride the Goblin Train, Burns.
Sounds fun.
And Ellie, the little boy down Goblin Lane, Sparrow.
Hello, I am the little boy down Goblin Lane. Am I like the token human in this Muppet movie, but it's goblins? Is that what's happening?
Yep.
That's Labyrinth.
Yes.
100%, yep.
I am
Yeah, that
David
really is
Bowie as a
Labyrinth.
small child. The little boy down Goblin Lane. Boy is in inverted commas.
It feels very like we're in sort of the Goblin Prince territory, presumably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's not Prince yet. Maybe that's what the film is. It's like a backstory.
becoming
I
the
would
Goblin
watch
King.
that. Just
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
A Labyrinth prequel. Yeah, no, I could see that.
Yeah, I would like to know how he got there and how this happened, and how his bulge.
I
became
was
so
going to
large.
say, yeah, that the
It's so large.
the codpiece question. Does it need to be answered? I was about to say needs to be answered.
No.
It's not the only.
Take a shot every time it makes you feel uncomfortable. Don't, you'll end up in casualty.
Yeah.
Speaking of uncomfortable questions, it's time for us to gaze into the mists of temporality and demand future us. Does the present have any answers as to why that codpiece? It's Future Jason with messages from the present, and honestly, I have as much clue as to why that codpiece as you do. Back to you, past us.
I asked, and now I wish I had not.
Truly, he who increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. And on that miserable note, it's time to increase our knowledge and begin Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously, on Flintlocks and Fireballs, the party are engaging in a little bit of query downtime in preparation for the upcoming Continental Congress, in which the fate of the colonies may well be decided. As part of those preparations, last time, Scamp decided to address the fact that Celestia can be pushed over by a stiff breeze, especially given her declaration to that she intends to challenge her mother, Naivara.
I'm going to need some ice for this burn soon. Like, it's getting brutal.
Some aloe vera.
Yes.
Please.
I'm just trying to distract everyone from my negative strength modifier.
That is true. You are the noodliest among us.
Challenge Naivara Rothnall for command of House Rothnall and thus the Urban Guard. Therefore, Scamp has, through a long process, determined that the best way to create a magical item capable of correcting Celestia's honestly entirely average constitution is by stealing the heart of a fortress beast. So the party can plan for that over the next downtime.
It's just because their constitution is lower than that of a child.
It literally.
Mine's like 16. So
Imagine how angry the optimizers are with me at this point. Like, fucking hell.
You are a very stout child. That just sounds like Scamp's.
Broad.
Yeah.
rotund.
But
Rotund is a great word, isn't it? Oh,
It is.
It
lovely
is.
word.
however, alongside that, Celestia trying to gather some information, perhaps lay the groundwork, went on a magical journey through the wonderland of her brother Adrian's mind. Specifically through his dreams, and learned some deeply the kind of deeply upsetting story of his life.
Yep.
Especially the fact that somehow he managed to get through his childhood with a functioning parent.
Yeah. Yep. That sure happened.
And it is in the wake of that we return to Celestia waking up the following morning.
I guess waking up from the dream, aren't we? I mean, as I recall, I said she just sort of sits on the bed and kind of shock cries for a while, which still feels like it happens, if I'm honest. I feel like there's an unknown amount of time that passes with Celestia just sat on a hammock having a cry, to be real. And then she kind of takes a couple of deep breaths. Like, seems to steel herself and goes to sickbay.
Okay. Can I ask you to roll a d20, please?
What the fuck is happening in sickbay? 17? Assuming there's no modifier or anything.
No modifier to this. Okay. You head to sickbay, and actually, right now, sickbay is empty. There is no one there is no one in sickbay right now who is in long-term recovery from injuries. There's not otherwise up and about. And Aujin's apprentice, Heinz Schuler, the enthusiastic orc fresh out of medical school, is currently tending to his duties over on the Witch's Tit. It would appear that at the moment you've come in, Aujin is not currently in sickbay. If you wanted, you could go and find Aujin, but otherwise, or you can wait here.
I think I'm going to wait.
All right.
Yeah, I think if he's in the sending room doing religious things, I don't really want to interrupt that, because that feels a bit mean. Because when we hired him, we literally said we give him space to do that.
Yep.
So, like, I'm not going to flout that.
That
and
is
also,
quite right.
if he's, like, out living his life, doing his own thing, I don't really want to, like, interrupt him on not work time either. So I think I wait.
You wait for a smidge over 10 minutes, and before Aujin returns. Just thinking about this. In the process of wiping his hands with a cloth and moving over to a basin where he has soap and water laid out. The older looking bugbear raises his eyebrows on seeing you. Shantyman Stardust.
Hello.
Closes the door behind him and puts up a finger, moves over and starts cleaning his hands. How can I help you today?
It's like a long pause where she, like, almost loses her nerve.
He finishes washing and dries his hands and leans on the counter a little.
You said you talk to people sometimes?
I do. Mostly, though, I listen.
I think something is wrong with me, and I think it's time I did something about it. So I've just found out some things about my family that I didn't know, and you see, I've always been a bit of a mess, just generally, but my brother wasn't. And I thought that I was just sort of, a bit broken or something. But it turns out this whole time that he was actually being looked after in a way that I wasn't. So he figured out how to deal with things. Because he was taught, see. And I wasn't taught. So instead of dealing with things, I drink a lot. And before that, well, I mean, you already know this because, you helped with the withdrawal. Before that, it was opium.
Of course.
And I thought that I was broken. And I thought that that was what I had. There weren't other options. That's what I had. But I don't think I am broken. I think just no one taught me better, and that's not my fault. But I think it is my fault if I figure it out like this and I don't fix it. So I think I need help. Because I think I need to stop drinking. And I don't know how. So I came here. I don't know if that's actually your area, or I don't know if that comes under physician things. I have no idea. But yeah, I need to stop drinking, or at least less. I don't know. But I need to not be fucking trashed whenever I feel something.
He nods slowly. Yes, I can help with that.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions just to get a sense of this. How, if you had to say, how much do you tend to drink in a day?
Varies. I mean, sometimes a day will go by where I don't, for whatever reason. But, I mean, I'm drunk more nights than I'm not. How many varies? I don't really count, but...
Do you find you need to drink a lot to get drunk?
Nah. Still a bit of a lightweight.
Has it... I haven't seen it in your duties, but have you found that you're going to get a drink before you undertake your duties, or in lieu of them?
Not in lieu of them. Sometimes before. Not all the time, only if something bad has been happening.
On days you've not been drinking, do you find that you have any shakes, sweats, you feel ill?
I mean, it's never been that long, I guess. But there's, like I said, there's probably a day gap here and there. I haven't noticed anything. Maybe 2 days here and there I haven't noticed. But I could have just been busy. That's usually when I forget to drink anything. If I'm, if we're in the middle of a crisis or something, I won't. So I might not notice because I'm busy being in a crisis. I don't know.
When's the last time you remember not frequently drinking?
Before I came to the surface. Like, I would say 2 years ago? Is it 2 years?
It's more like it's only like 13, 14 months.
Yeah, okay. Before I came to the surface, like a year and a bit ago. We didn't really have a lot of access to alcohol. Well, I didn't, anyway. I guess they didn't trust me with it. As you know, it's the fucked up one. You don't give them a load of booze, do you?
The good news, then, from what you've said, what I've observed of you, is this: you are not in too advanced a stage of this.
Okay.
Now, if you'd come to me if you'd come to me after 20 years of heavy drinking, we might have a different conversation. But
does it get very bad?
I've seen sailors who drink like a fish every day and it never touches them, and I've seen some where quite a number more where it has. Let's say that this is early. When you drink, what do you tend to drink?
Whiskey. Dwarven. Don't judge me. It's quicker.
No, I understand. For the next couple of days, I'm going to restrict you to beer. Nothing stronger than a pale ale. And we're going to limit the amount you can drink. And then we're going to start spacing that out with what is that fellow who operates the grill?
Oh, Jim Diamond.
Yeah.
Jim Diamond's water of piss. Yeah.
I understand it has the approximate taste and colour of alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah,
Piece
Courage
of
gave me a sip. It was grim, to be honest.
Unfortunately, there is a limited supply of apple blossoms best, so I think we'll...
I can always grab some sarsaparilla, I guess.
That may be best.
Jim Diamond's water of piss is absolutely fine. I don't mind.
Nevertheless, I will insist on checking in with you daily.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to continue your duties, but I will be keeping an eye on you.
Mm-hmm.
There is a chance you may experience some mild sickness. If you need to take to your bed, I will allow for that.
What kind of sickness am I looking at? Is it going to be like opium? I'm assuming not, if you're saying.
He shakes his head. More in line with a cold, perhaps.
Okay.
However, I would also encourage you to make some time. This is ordinarily people would prefer to speak to a priest on these matters. However, my understanding of Drow religion is that it is light on sympathy.
I find it weird that people even go to priests for support up here, to be honest. No judgment on what anyone else needs, but I find it hard to be comfortable.
Well, part of a priest's job is to do some of what I'm offering here, which is to listen and to talk. We don't just tell people what to think, you know.
Are you a priest?
In my youth. Well,
I didn't know that about you.
it's not as if I've ever forsworn the vow. I just don't stay around in a temple.
Huh. Is that what the chickens are for?
It is my way of honouring those that I pay homage to.
Is that the thousand?
Also, Belle appreciates them.
I mean, we all don't mind the soup every couple of days.
Yes, the 1,000 is the broad term used for the many gods of Haldanos. I have more specific deities I venerate as the occasion permits. But I do not need you to worship the 1,000 to talk and to listen.
I think that might be a good start. Because I'm aware that I've done this very quickly. I've just seen all that stuff, and I've seen why I'm like this, and I've immediately come here, and that's all very well and good. But I don't have a replacement for drinking. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
That, I think, is something we can talk about. There is also one other thing you will need.
What?
He goes to, as he's talking, he sort of goes to his cabinet and produces a series of, like an old jar with some pills in them, and begins crushing one up. He's doing this while he's talking to you, and you can see starts a little contained charcoal stove going to one side very carefully set up. It boils a little bit of water, and he's been doing this while talking to you. And he pours a bit of tea into water into a cup and mixes the crushed up little pill into it. And he passes you a small cup of just this like really, really black looking tea, like a sort of blackish green.
It's like thick in my head. Is that I'm tilting an imaginary cup and going like it's like
No, it's not thick.
Okay.
Treacle.
Oh no,
No.
it's liquid. It's not viscous. It's
I out of character think I know what.
Yes, you do. It's about the consistency of tea, but it is like ink black, and there is
What does it smell like?
there is a So you know how, like, when sometimes we say there's a medicinal smell and you imagine that sort of sweet, nice medicinal smell? This is
Yeah,
the
like cough
other
sweets.
medicinal smell.
Oh, grim.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
This is like the medicines that they, like the children's medicine that they haven't bothered to make sweet.
Yeah, it smells like medicine and it smells foul. Now,
Oh, what is that? Oh,
that is the cure to drinking. I'm going to need you to drink all of that now.
How is this supposed to cure me?
Drink it and I will explain.
Do you just want to watch me suffer?
I don't just want to watch you suffer.
Okay, I down the tea.
Okay, roll.
Do I need like a con save? Is that like...
You do.
Yeah.
Although mostly to avoid gagging.
You know, for Celestia's con, it could be worse. It's a 13.
Okay, you managed to get it down. It is foul. It is foul, vile, bitter, with a lingering taste. It swirl. You can weirdly feel it swirling in as your stomach tries to reject it a bit. And like you have to fight to get this down. It is probably the most deeply unpleasant bit of medicine you've ever drunk.
What the fuck was that?
It is the
I feel like it's growing legs in my stomach.
it does. That is the medicine that my aunt brewed for myself and my cousin whenever we were ill for reasons of folly. Now,
Ow.
that it has two effects. The first is it will help purge your system. The second is simple.
Pause for a sec. What kind of purging should I be expecting out in?
Some time on the seat of ease.
Just, checking I got that right. Please
But
continue.
it will help with flushing your system out. The other reason is... the other service it performs is simple. Whenever you drink, and I will ask you when we meet to tell me if you have drunk anything, and I will encourage others to keep an eye if you so wish, although I would encourage you to ask your friends to keep an eye.
I have thoughts there.
And every drink you take, you will have to have a cup of this.
That's pretty fucked up.
I can assure you, as a child who grew up on this, you learn to avoid bad habits quickly after a few of these.
One was quite a lot.
No, though, well, I am actually very serious about the medicine. But the talking is going to be the main course of treatment.
Yeah.
I will suggest an hour, twice a week, once every 5 days.
Okay. Something about medicine that's making me feel weird, and I don't mean the fact that I'm going to go for the most ginormous shit in about 5 minutes. I can feel that. That's not what I'm talking about. I need this not to be like I'm a child being punished. That's going to be very bad.
Very well.
Because
You tell
I
me
will rebel.
when you want the medicine.
And the other purpose is get rid of the alcohol, right?
Yes.
Okay, that I can do. I don't think for reasons of shitty family being punished actually really sucks.
So I think, fuck, sorry, it's really embarrassing. I think I need it to not be like that.
Very well.
Yeah. A conversation as adults is fine.
Then conversation as adults is what we shall have.
Because if it's treated, like I'm a kid being punished, I'm either not going to tell you or I'm going to rebel. And get really, really pissed all the time. You know? But, I think you are right about telling everyone, though, even though I'm horrendously embarrassed about the whole thing.
You don't need to tell everyone.
But telling the important people.
If you feel able to, I would encourage you to speak to the ship's mage friend, Scamp friend, and Captain Horhace. I would say that if there had been a risk of this impacting your duties as your ship's captain, ship's doctor, I would have felt obligated to bring it to the captain. However,
that makes sense, and I mean, it happened with the opium, didn't it? So,
however, since it has not, I leave that in your hands.
Well done. It's important.
Well, I have an hour now, if you would like.
I suppose we might as well start.
Let me put the do not disturb sign on the door. And you begin...
Fucking therapy.
Yeah, essentially. With Ajin. And this is very much the case of, prior to the existence of therapists, this is indeed...
Talking to a big hairy priest is what you got.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is indeed how it usually works. Just as a one sentence question, what do you talk about with Ajin?
I mean, I think she'd be pretty hefty on extracting promises of confidentiality. I think there's probably like a portion at the start where it's just, this is like really big shit you can't tell people. So I think she'd need a bunch of reassurance at the beginning that was definitely a thing. I think they'd probably start with what she's just seen. Like, I think that would be the beginning. That's probably the entirety of the first session, let's be real.
Yeah.
Because I think you can take up an entire therapy session, or possibly hundreds, with that. I think it starts with the family. And then maybe goes on to the fact that she hasn't fucking stopped since she left.
I'm just trying to think of the wording here. Ajin basically said, Ajin promises.
You're like, what kind of therapist is he? What's he like?
He says, very well. By the divines that I honour, I swear that these secrets shall be kept.
Thank you. I'm sorry to ask. It's just a lot of them are actually quite dangerous. So, yeah.
May they strike me down if my word should go awry.
Thanks.
Ajin, again, Ajin mostly listens and asks probing questions. He is actually talking with him and interacting with him, which is something you haven't really done extensively. You do now see signs of that sort of religious training
Yeah.
or background in him.
Yeah.
Occasionally he will he'll reflexively, when hearing something that'll concern, like if it's some of the more concerning revelations, will like you see his fingers like trace like little symbols in a way that feels like a reflexive benediction or the like, but he doesn't really make a fuss of it, and he doesn't. And sensing your discomfort, he doesn't overtly bring much up for bring it up with you.
Good. That's gonna help. Yeah, I think Celestia is quite stilted and opening up. It's probably real hard.
But no, he listens, asks probing questions. He gets you to sort of reflect on what you've experienced and what it meant. Occasionally, he will ask clarifying questions to see, for instance, to just magic is not my strongest suit. You are able to travel. So when you say you dream, you actually travel.
Yes.
Into the dreams of another.
Yes. Were we? I see. Were we like told by the gnomes not to tell people about the Dreamfold? Like, what's the deal there? Am I allowed to like? Because the gnomes are sworn to secrecy.
The gnomes are sworn to. Okay, so the gnomes are sworn to secrecy.
They're geshed,
about
right?
the dream. Yeah, geshed about the Dreamfold. You are not geshed about
I'm
the
not.
Dreamfold. Mm-hmm. You are, however, sworn under threat of what was the specific threat? Keep stumm on Jimothy.
They'll beat you and leave you morose.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Under threat of being beaten and left morose, however, you are not to reveal the location of Jimothy.
Cool.
I would not like
I
to
would
be
not.
morose.
I would not like to be.
No.
I mean, I think I'm already morose. I'm literally in therapy. in my
Yeah.
first therapy, like I think there's a lot of moroseness already. I don't think Jimothy comes up in this session, funnily enough. But I think the way Celestia would explain it to him is basically.
By the way, party members, please note, if you ever tell anyone who does not already know about it, about Jimothy, there
Like
are
at all?
consequences.
Interesting. Okay.
Understood.
Yeah. I think the way Celestia would explain it is, I can. I'm not physically there, but as a sort of. Oh, what did Clara call the word I want to say is brain ghost, but Clara called it something much more intelligent. Eidolon, maybe, was that it? I don't know.
From the gigantic, yes.
Yes. I can go to people's dreams as though it's a place. It is a place. I can visit people.
Of course. Now, you were saying your brother, and then you continue.
We continue, yeah.
So he asks
We've
questions.
heard that story last session.
He asks questions largely focused on clarifying meaning or things that he that he doesn't have a prior understanding of.
Yeah.
Particularly things relating to magic, or when you talk about something in the Underdark.
Like drow culture,
Drow culture, so he'll ask more. Yeah, he will ask for details just to clarify what sort of is and isn't normal and the like. Okay, your downtime is being weaned off alcohol.
It is.
Was the start of it.
I think only other things that I want to do with that is a couple of other small things with that. It does involve the other two though.
Yeah.
I think I go and find courage, probably like immediately after therapy. Basically, assuming the other two are still away at this point, that's why I'm not talking
They
to them
are
immediately. Yeah.
Adventuring, learning interesting things about magical environments and trees.
Yeah, but yes, my downtime thing, as it were, is me being weaned off alcohol. That's what this character's doing for the next few days. But yeah, I get a courage if I can find him.
Courage is easy to find.
He works on the ship. He lives in my house. Yeah,
Yes.
I go and find him. Hey, could I have a word?
Of course.
So you know how you said you could get Auden to steal all my alcohol?
Consider it done.
Thanks. I do need to keep one thing of it. It's for spells, and there's a really tiny blue vial. It's not for drinking, it's for spells. There's not enough in there to get anyone drunk anyway. Please tell him not to nick that one. All the rest of it, go wild.
All right. Hey. Well done.
I'm so embarrassed. Were you embarrassed? I've just told Algin so much about myself that I feel a bit like I'm like fully naked, to be honest. It's horrifying.
You know, when I think about it, I probably was embarrassed, but I was so pissed off with my dad and worried about that. It's sort of... Good luck.
Thanks. Might bother you for some games of cards for distraction soon, if that's okay.
Yeah, there's always a place at the table.
Thanks.
We play for coppers because it turns out Belle is really, really good at cards.
That she is.
Not as good as Blind Pete is, though.
Yeah, I've played with Blind Pete. Not played cards with you all much recently.
Blind Pete has a halfling's lock.
Fucking halfling luck. Jealous.
All right.
And then when the other two get back, I will talk to them. But whether we want to do that, I think it's worth doing. But whether we want to do it now or
You
later,
can do that now. Like the pair of them will be coming to and from the ship throughout the
I think I'd get both of them. I don't want one of them to know and not the other one.
Yeah. So, heck, you probably get them around a meal time of some description.
Yeah. Hey, Corzin, could we have lunch in your cabin today? Just give us like a meaningful look.
Corzin will take it, but we'll keep the joviality there.
Yeah. Because I just don't think she'd say it in public. She's like really embarrassed.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, you have lunch. It's scotched eggs.
Ooh, I like a scotched egg. Scotched eggs are good.
I put a whole one in my mouth.
How is that even physically possible? I'm not going to ask.
How did you make your mouth into a bag? Because that does not look like it should work.
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you something really uncomfortable where you can't say anything back.
Ooh.
Pick your moment.
Before they've swallowed the egg and they can say anything to make me not tell you. I'm stopping drinking. I'm stopping.
All right.
Oh. I swallowed it whole. Please continue.
Scamp roller constitution.
Watch you choke on an egg during this conversation. Yes.
That is quite a lot. What's my con save? That's a 22.
Scamp impressively manages to swallow the whole egg, breadcrumbs and all, without even sputtering.
Are you just like one of those snakes? Is that a sorcerer power? One of those snakes that just swallows things and gets like a bulge.
Yes.
Just slowly digests it over several weeks.
I've seen some of the spider tieflings do something like that, but anyway, we're
Fucking
drifting
what?
off topic here.
I once saw my cousin put 5 pickled eggs in his mouth at once, and he ate them without taking one of them out. I don't know how he did it, but
The stories
like
about
teenagers
your
can do
cousin.
weird stuff.
You've told me
Oh,
so many
the boy's
feral cousin
wild.
stories about this particular cousin. You have a cousin
That's
who's
like
at least
Olympic
3
level chubby
times
bunnies.
more feral than you are.
And later, 5 shadows.
And he's grown up
erupted
so
from it,
sensible.
but-
Imagine the farts. It's always the way
Oh,
that they grow
no.
up sensible, though, isn't it? All of my most insane friends as children now doing really sensible things. It seems like such a waste. But,
It is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Passing over the harrowing shit we're going to have later. Yeah, I'm trying to stop.
Okay.
All right. What do you need?
How can we help?
I might be ill in the next few days. I don't know how ill. Algin said not as ill as opium, so I might be able to just do stuff on the ship. OC, actually, it's worth mentioning that we did some research on how much Celestia drinks, and she is kind of on that borderline just about into slight dependency, rather than like in full, like your brain chemistry has changed.
Mildly alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, I've very much based her booze level in recovery on what we would call like a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
Some people who are functioning alcoholics actually are way more into dependency but still functioning. But I'll be honest, I did the drink aware quiz with how much that I think Celestia drinks, and they were like, yeah, you're borderline into dependency, so you probably wouldn't be like hallucinating and in danger of death and having like the horrendous withdrawal, but you might have the flu for a few days and it's going to be rough emotionally, basically. So I didn't want people to think that we were just like downplaying how bad alcohol withdrawal could be. We've just geared it to like her exact drinking level, basically. But yeah, I might be ill for a few days, so we'll keep an eye on that. I might need to go to bed here and there. I'm having times every week where I talk to Algin about my feelings, which feels really embarrassing.
That sounds really good.
I think
that sounds sensible. And while we're in
The
port
talking
anyway,
to your people, not the going to bed.
I think I just need...
If you are ill, do you need company? Because I can sit and read to you.
I would love company. I don't want to do this on my own.
and you don't have to.
Well, I know I locked myself in a room for opium withdrawal because it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
But
Different situation, different time. We can be, we can treat this as what it is.
yeah.
That one, you weren't, like, it might have felt like you're on your own, but we were right outside the door the whole time.
Yeah.
In case you needed someone. And we will be where you need us.
You're right.
Thank you for being outside the door. It's actually really kind. Well, I didn't think I could do any more crying today, but here we are. Fuck me, it's embarrassing existing right now. But no, I had
Well done.
I went to see Adrian in his dreams, and it changed some things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I give you both a rundown. It's brief and stilted and like bizarre, but you get the main points of like what has happened. I'm not going to go over it again because like we've had that story again. Like it's not worth like telling this story like 4 times. But yeah, I tell you. So I just sort of had this moment where I realised that that I wasn't actually just broken. Just had different things. But I feel like when you have realised that, you kind of have to deal with it.
Of course, and for what it's worth,
it's time to learn
you
to
never
breathe.
were. Yeah.
It's really hard looking at what you could have had.
Yeah.
Like someone who is a lot like you and you could have had what they did, and it's just a different situation.
Yeah, you probably understand
It's
the
rough.
most out of anyone
It's
I
not
know.
the same, but there's
but it kind of
there's
is.
echoes.
It's not the same, but it kind of is as well.
It sucks, and I'm really sorry.
Thanks.
Take
On
the
the
time.
bright side, I actually think I might want him to be my brother at some point. So that's kind of nice. I have to convince Sabnet not to
That is
murder
a
him.
nice feeling.
But
Good luck
That's
with
all
that.
right.
but
You can always bring him back if you do.
well, then we'd be all the way even, wouldn't we? Oh fuck!
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to know
I
what's
suppose.
awaiting Adrian before. So Celestia always seems to struggle when she talks about
The abyss.
the abyss or the line that it. Whatever it is, I wouldn't like to know what his looks like. That seems like something I'm good not knowing ever, to be
I
honest.
get the impression it's different for everybody, so...
It is different for everybody. I can't even hold an image of it in my head. That makes me feel weird. But Yeah, I need company. I need...
Then you shall have it.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
I need to be able to tell you if I fall off the wagon.
Of course.
Without being shouted at.
No.
Because
absolutely not.
I had some opium before we went to the Sirius Citadel and Wayne Manor and all that stuff, and I never told either of you because I thought that you'd be pissed off with me, and I need to not do that with this. So
I understand.
We won't be pissed off.
And
we'll understand.
for what it's worth...
I'm not planning on failing, but, you know...
No, but it's important that we have that in place now before we actually have to think about it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I know it probably doesn't feel like it right now, but what you're doing is incredibly hard.
Oh, it does feel incredibly hard. I assure you.
But we need
takes
to...
a lot of strength. And
yes, that's my point.
Yeah.
We need to recognise that.
Oh, I don't feel very strong.
No, you won't, for a while. But it is. And a lot of what you're potentially going to go through here won't make you feel like that, but it is. Trust me.
I feel sort of pathetic.
No, not that one. That's not right.
Might feel that way, but I assure you it is not.
Yeah. I think I might need to be annoyingly open for a while so that I don't, do anything stupid behind closed doors.
Like we'd ever be annoyed at you for being open.
You see, I know that factually.
Very good at open.
I
know that you know that, and I know that you know that I know that, but it bears saying, doesn't it?
Yeah. I know that, but, I'm a drow. Secrets are sort of what I was brought up on, aren't they?
Yeah, and look what good that did. So none more of that, thank you.
Yeah, no, this is about trying to be different. Thanks.
Of course.
I'm proud of you for trying.
Thank you.
You didn't have to tell us, and I respect that, and thank you for doing so.
No, I did have to tell you. Feel free to tell Molly as well. Partly as Molly and partly as first mate.
Right, yeah, no, what is necessary for the safe running of this ship will be passed along, and thank you, but, we'll do what we have to do.
Thanks. I think I'm probably going to go for the most harrowing shit of my entire life now, because of what Algin's given me. I can feel something brewing. It's
that we will not keep you company
right.
for.
It's bad, but I love you both. Thank you.
I shall
I'm
tell
gonna be
Beta Shift to clear
really
the decks.
annoying in the near future, so thank you in advance. She goes for a pool.
Yeah.
The next few days you do get sweating, like
I will,
and sickness. You're honestly not sure how much of it is like the result of the of withdrawal from alcohol, and how much of it is a side effect of that evil fucking medicine.
Yeah.
So this is the medicine my grandmother made my mum and her siblings take.
It is actually culturally correct as well. That's the thing, because Algin is from Flintlocks, China, right?
Yeah, basically.
And this is scary Chinese grandmother medicine.
My mum always described it as you didn't drink it, like you didn't get ill because she'd make you drink it.
Oh god.
Yeah, and she does describe it as this like pitch black tea.
Yeah,
like to the point where you can't like see through it. Like it's black.
Yeah.
It is. I have seen the tea. I've smelled the tea. I've been fortunate not to drink the tea, but I have seen and smelled that tea, and it did medicinal in not the good way.
Yeah, mortifying.
I don't know what was in it, but apparently you bought it from monks who would visit once a year.
Jesus fucking Christ, your family is like a myth sometimes. It's great
And
fun.
like the monks, like I don't know if the monks like genuinely had some sort of mystic panacea that just tasted awful,
Or were they just slightly conny monks?
or if they were just kind of, or if they were just con artists.
I mean, we have before been conned by monks.
We have been conned
China.
by monks and basically like social pressured.
Yeah. We met many kinds of monks.
Yeah.
Most of them were very, very nice people. But yeah,
But there was
these
that one
ones in that
monastery where
particular
they-
Taoist temple were
Yeah.
just... they just sucked.
But they were, in fairness, excellent. But I suppose they were excellent at getting
Foreigners to donate shit.
Yeah, donations out of foreigners.
Yeah, very
Yep.
much so.
Oh, I suppose they did it. There's a point at which practice makes perfect, and
Yeah.
had a lot of practice. Anyhow, moving onwards from there.
The bard's sick for a few days. That's my downtime thing.
Yeah, Celestia's downtime is sickness.
Sweating and flu.
Yeah. By the time you reach the end of this current downtime segment, Celestia is once again functional, but you still, it's not fixed.
Yeah. And also there's still probably a bit of a cold for a bit.
Yeah, there's
Like,
likely to be
the
a
worst of
lingering
it will
cold.
have tapered off, but you probably still feel a bit fluey and shit for a while. Like, yeah.
And indeed she does, but not so much that it will consume additional downtime segments.
No, that just done with roleplay at that point.
So, in terms of mechanically, in terms of downtime usage, there is. I've said that Corzin has assisted with Scamp's sort of like downtime project, but has the opportunity to do a downtime activity, which can just be R&R with family. As well, and you do have the opportunity, like as a party, to use your a couple of other meeting slots, as it were, like one or two scene slots if you want to try and find and talk to a specific person or group of people as well. So if there's anything else you would like to do this downtime as a group, let me know. Corzin, if you've got anything other than spending time with your family that you want to do.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Let me know.
Yeah, what do you want?
Yeah. Samothy, is there anything for Corzin, or
Well,
should we?
there was one brief conversation I was going to have with Molly about Little Corzin.
I mean, I will say that that this can happen, like, just if it's as a small conversation to go, it can happen as part and parcel of time with the Horhaces.
Totally, yeah.
So if the others want a chance to think about it, so if you want a chance to think a little bit about what you might want to use the other couple of meeting people slots for, we're going to do we're going to consult the downtime rules for spending time with your loved ones.
Hey!
No, really, there is actually one
Oh,
here.
that's
Oh, a
adorable.
carousing table. I forgot about
But
this.
like
Yes.
a wholesome family one.
Yeah, basically, you
That's
get.
adorable.
You can kind of, let's see. Your options here on this one are. I mean, technically, we could do it on the carousing. We could use the carousing table to base on this. Basically, you kind of get a choice of whether you want to have a more relaxing sort of spending time with your family or a more exciting spending time with your family. If it's a more relaxing one, we'll go with the relaxation rules. If it's the more exciting ones, we'll use the carousing rules. The carousing
Okay.
rules don't, in this case, probably doesn't mean you're spending all the time drinking and partying, but this is more on the level, like, you might be spending some time drinking and partying with Molly, but it will cover, like, taking little Corzin on days out and going and going.
I definitely
seeing
owe him a
fun
ride on
things.
Kerberos.
So I guess, yeah, relaxing or exciting time with your family.
Go for exciting first.
Okay. So you so the carousing rules kind of cover whether you are like assume a level of like exciting of like hard drinking and partying, but in this case it's more like choosing your choice of varying degrees of wholesome family entertainment and activities. So whether you would like to be doing your exciting family times focused on more sort of street level type activities, spending a little bit more and going to what we call middle class times, or like going all out and getting into the kind of excitement and adventures that would appeal to the rich and the elites. The cost, respectively, is 10 gold pieces, 50 gold pieces, or 250 gold pieces.
Right. Okay.
My God.
Yeah, 250 gold pieces. I'm gonna have to think about what exciting shit you get up to there, but it will. But whatever you do, it's probably going to be a gale time for the family. It's just whether are you doing is it? I guess in a sense, trip to the fun fair, trip to the theatre, trips to the theatre, or trip to the opera. That I don't think there is an opera here.
Now, seriously, there is familial significance to a trip to the fun fair for, I think, everybody here now. So, yes, we're going to the fun fair.
Okay, then please spend 10 gold pieces. And
okay.
It
was Molly and Corzin's first date. Little Corzin has just been to a fun fair recently. It had to happen. So, yes. Sorry, how many gold pieces was that?
10 gold pieces.
10 gold pieces,
covering covering a week of just spending time on cheap but enjoyable pursuits, including some racing around Greywatch Village and the like with on Kerbros's back, and
Molly still absolutely trounces Corzin at the Coconut Shy.
Absolutely, and indeed, fortunately, there is indeed a fair in town, or at least on at least one of the days, and in Greywatch Village, appropriately enough. So, I would like you to make a persuasion check, please.
Okay.
So this is this affects this is to do with people you talk to or interact with and the like.
That's a 12.
Okay, a 12. And could I ask you to roll a 1d100, please?
Certainly. 78.
Okay, you do not trigger a complication.
Phew.
I mean, they really need a not complicated few days where nobody gets eaten by a giant bird or anything.
Yep.
Now, something interesting is so you've gone. So we're going for. So the carousing table at this point indicates that as part of your time wandering around, as part of your time in the village, at the fun fair, you make some sort of allied contact. So we're gonna have a little. So we'll have a little think about what that is. But first, while little Corzin is racing around on Kerbros's back to the excitement, and awe of onlooking children and the like, you have the opportunity to talk to Molly as you're sat with a picnic blanket on the grass, sharing some sandwiches and small beer.
I've been looking forward to this.
He's been looking forward to it too. And myself, I might add.
Well, it's I had to give you a chance to absolutely thrash me at the coconut show, didn't I?
I think that the look of surprise when he found he hadn't in the storeholder's face when he realised he hadn't glued that coconut on quite as firmly as he thought was.
It's worth every penny.
It's
isn't
worth
it
it every time.
Well, there's one thing I've been thinking about actually, with regards to the unique situation we have with regards to getting little Corzin to safety. I wonder, the last time little Corzin went to the Gormanis is stuck in my mind because I could see the reticence on his face, and I think the reason it stuck with me is because, well, the situation is what it is, but I know that he was feeling kind of put out about it. And while we all know it's the sensible thing to do if ever there's a situation where he might be in danger, I was wondering if there's a situation where that becomes necessary again. What do you think about giving him something to do on the other side? Something that is important, something that will make him feel like he's helping, and that doesn't make him feel like he's just a logistic problem to be solved. Because I felt that at that time, and there wasn't really anything I could do about it in the moment, but I want to try and be better in the future about that.
I think that's a really good idea. What do you have in mind, Corzin?
Well, if he's going to Kion, then the mayor of Kion is a fellow who I used to know quite well. What about if we were to give him a message, a very important message that is genuinely some useful information and relaying intelligence to him as the mayor of Kion, which would be useful for the Sulian government, because we're here, they're there, but we have the means of communicating a lot faster than most of their other sources do. Doesn't need to be revealing anything of what we have at our disposal, but what it does do is it allows us to, in one swoop, give little Corzin something to do that is helpful and necessary, and also give our allies the lowdown on what's happening here without them having to lift a finger.
Well, I think that it sometimes reminds me that I married you for your brains, and not just your dash and good looks.
Corzin grins kind of sheepishly and goes, "Oh, well, I'm very glad that I didn't need to give you too much convincing about this, because it's been something I've been thinking about for a while. Like a fair amount of the time I've been away. So the next time that is necessary, we give little Corzin an important message to deliver. He can deliver it, and hopefully by the time that there's a reply to come back, anything that will have happened on this end will have happened, and he can come back happy as the proverbial Larry."
There's a brief moment where Molly pauses and frowns for a moment. Okay, seriously, have you ever actually met, like, an especially happy Larry?
was wondering about that because, like, there's the proverbial. I've met a few Larrys, but they're not actually like unusually ecstatic or anything.
No, I just
maybe it's one of those.
Was there one
gnomish
like
things.
really happy Larry once? Is that what it is? Like
I mean,
so
an
happy
unusual-
that every other Larry is miserable by comparison.
You gotta wonder, haven't you? I mean, it's just one of those sayings, isn't it? Like, who actually was the Frodo that nobody knows anybody from?
Exactly. By the way, roll an insight check.
Yep. Insight. That is a 15.
Ooh, okay. Let's see if we. Okay. So, as you are pondering the happiness of Larry's, proverbial or otherwise, you notice something. Now, seeing things, like, it's kind of your thing. You've got eyes, not just in the back
So
of your
many
head,
eyes.
but, like,
On
everywhere.
your balls.
Yeah.
On the top, on the bottom, and everywhere in between.
Exactly. But noticing is sometimes a different thing, especially noticing someone who doesn't necessarily want to be noticed and isn't hidden so much as disguised, essentially, performing. And this is someone who, in a sense, isn't terribly actively disguised. She's wearing different clothing, but you would not normally notice because she is outside the rare circumstances in which you've seen before. Now, there are a handful of Acheen around Greywatch Village.
Mm-hmm.
This is, frankly, because although I don't really comment on it that much, the Newmark is a fairly cosmopolitan city, and it does have a lot of people who travel through it, come in for day work, arrive, work for a while, and leave. And that does include, includes people from a number of different races and species, which does include a small population of Acheen. Enough that the sight of Acheen around Greywatch Village is not in itself notable.
Okay.
Therefore, it would be fairly easy for you to miss the appearance of an Acheen with yellow ochre skin, soft, fine pinkish down, and crimson feathers for her hair and eyebrows. Were she not wearing a traveller's hood, a hairstyle that would which would have a sort of short, swept back kind of look to it. You briefly catch sight of golden irises flecked with orange amidst the black sclera of her eagle-like eyes, and her white cotton dress with patterned brown hemlines is largely covered by the fairly ordinary traveller's coat that she wears. It's of a fairly typical Acheen style, undyed leather with black stripes along it. There are any number of Acheen passing through this part of town who are similarly attired. The only reason that this particular woman stands out to you is that you happen to have met her once before. You have a flash of recognition that this is a lady by the who you vaguely recall meeting, I think by the name of Tekakwitha, back in Thunder's Watch, where you briefly went into a shop run by Machine there.
Okay.
It's the only thing that really draws you, the main thing that draws your attention is simply this is just someone here that you hadn't expected to be in Newmark and vaguely recognise, but it does draw your eye.
Okay. If she notices me, I shall give her what I understand to be the Achene formal greeting, with like the hand to the middle of the chest and the bow.
Okay. You do so. Which, yeah, you can kind of do that. I guess you'd have to probably stand up and do that. Rather than, from your thing and stand up. Which draws... It draws a little attention, but mostly towards you, and then in sort of her direction from just a couple of onlookers who notice someone like stand up and do the thing, and in the way that you notice people acting. She does look towards you. Her eyes meet yours for a moment, and then she moves. But rather than coming over to greet you, she presses on and goes down into one of the streets of Greywatch Village. But she does.
Okay, do I get the impression she wants me to follow?
Ooh, roll an insight check.
Okay. That's another 15.
You get the impression that she was surprised. The reaction is not from her look is less, come this way, and more surprise at being spotted by you, or indeed just whether that's by you specifically or just be it someone noticing, standing up and greeting her. Anderson so she seemed surprised by your notice and reaction, and reacted to that by moving on quickly.
Okay. I'm going to turn to Molly and say, "Hold that thought. I'll be right back." And I will surreptitiously follow after Tekakwitha.
Sure thing, but I can't promise all the Scotch eggs will be here when you get back.
More eggs?
Yep.
Yep, it's apparently an egg-themed episode. Now,
Corzin will break his open just to make sure the interior is not black.
Corzin has...
Does he still check every egg? Is that canon?
I mean, Corzin, genuinely is quite a fan of eggs as a foodstuff, but after the black one, you do make sure.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, poor lad.
It's like some people have to slice open an apple before they eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, so ooh, this is an interesting one. What is this? This is I guess, a survival check, please.
Okay, survival.
Because we are into tracking territory.
All right. Natural one, but lucky. Okay, that is a 17.
Okay.
There's going to be some carnival sideshow I very narrowly escaped getting hit by or something.
You lose Tekakwitha immediately, and spend a couple of minutes fruitlessly trying to find her, and then just as you are about to give up and return to the carnival, one of the carnival sideshow operators, who is bringing a basket full. He's bringing a small cart with apples to get, toffied up for sale. slightly loses their grip. Doesn't spill more than 1 or 2 apples, but does accidentally bump into the back of a couple of people inspecting looking at one of the other stalls, and you notice that as they are literally just jostled, that one of them is in fact Tekakwitha, almost managing to blend into the crowd. You follow after her and manage and are back on her trail. Now, at this, having found her trail again, you have a choice about whether you want to be overt or stealthy.
I'm going to be stealthy for now.
Okay, roll a stealth check, please.
Okay. Natural 20. For a total of 25, if that makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. Well, I don't know if it might, but technically it is observant, but not that observant. All right.
Stealthy boy.
Yeah,
Yep.
It sure does help that you make no sound when you move, or at least none from your feet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, using your height and your silent footfall to your advantage, you begin tracking after Tekakwitha, who surreptitiously checks behind her a couple of times to see if she's lost you, and then begins making her own journey. All right, how long are you willing to follow her for?
I'm not going to follow her too far away from the fun fair, but once she's outside of the main throng of the crowd, like moving perhaps back towards the buildings, I will just in with as much malice aforethought as I possibly can muster, I will just clear my throat.
Right.
I take it you wanted to speak to me?
So before that happens, then, you do see a bit of what she's up to.
Okay.
So once she believes she's lost you, you see that she does return not directly to the carnival portion, but to the streets around Greywatch Village, and that she seems to walk apparently at random. From place to place, but she's actually stopping. She stops briefly, has small conversation, occasional casual conversations with people. You've got pretty good hearing. They're largely. Sometimes they are if it's with another Achene, it'll occasionally be in Achene, which you don't understand. But sometimes it will be in Jovan. And they will largely be queries about the price of food or the weather, or like a comment of, "Oh, haven't seen you in a while. How's the job going?" type things. Although, given it's Tekakwitha, it would be more sort of like, yes, how are you? Yes, good. And the work has been good. As she does so, though, she frequently will shake hands or make a small purchase or a small delivery, and you notice that she is exchanging notes or small pouches or sometimes coinage.
Now, I promissory notes this a thing this side of the Sundran Sea.
I mean, they are because Golden Kratz and Guildenstern is a thing.
Right,
However, in this case, I mean more like small written notes.
Okay, right. So actual like IOUs.
No, I mean like you can't like folded pieces of paper.
All right.
As well as they may or may not be promissory notes.
Secrets.
You can't see into them.
Right, okay.
But she seems to be talking to a number of unrelated people, largely of ordinary, various working class professions or travelers, the like. More Achene than not, but there
Makes
is
sense.
she's definitely getting around. However, there does come a point where she moves a little bit more away from Greywatch Village and starts heading a little further out, and that is where, if you still want to, you can cough loudly and announce yourself.
Yeah. Don't mean to interrupt, but I felt it was rude not to acknowledge a previous acquaintance.
She spins around as you cough, and her eyes widen, and then after a moment, and she covers it with a smile. Ah, yes, of course. I believe we have met.
Sunder's watch.
Yes, of course. You are a captain, aren't you?
That's right. What brings you to Newmark?
Simply, I am here to meet a couple of acquaintances and see the sights.
I see. Do I believe her?
You tell me. I mean, you can roll an insight check.
I'm gonna roll an insight check.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's just great.
Yeah, I mean, out of character, it's more like how much of that is bullshit, not if. Okay, that's only a 12.
So here's the thing. She plays it off very well. It's kind of believable. Like, it's believable that she is here. Like, her attitude and speech make it entirely believable that she is here to see some friends and to meet a friend and see the sights. However, because you have a memory longer than that of a goldfish, the evidence tells you that she's obviously lying. But she's apparently very good at obviously lying.
Okay. File that away. Corzin will say, "Oh, that's interesting. So, you wouldn't happen to know anything about the fact that there are a number of other representatives of different nations in town at the moment because of the conference that's due to happen?"
There's a brief sort of flicker of her eyes for a moment, which unfortunately for her do stand out with her distinctive eye type, and before she replies, "Really? And what sort of conference is that?"
One that seemingly has drawn the attention and, in some cases, ire of a number of people.
She takes a moment to think. I understand there are some excellent... She pauses for a moment. Coffee shops around this city. Would you have time today, now, later, to perhaps share some stories?
I would definitely have some time later. I am currently on shore leave with my family, and that is sacrosanct.
Of course. Family is sacred.
Yes.
She seems quite serious. She seems to take that statement quite seriously.
With my people as with yours.
We must protect what is sacred.
Yes, we must. But absolutely, I would be willing to meet with you later.
She thinks for a moment. There is a coffee shop around the back of that fish restaurant in Little... I think it is called Little Feroz.
Yes, I know it.
Crime friends.
Yep.
Perhaps,
They serve really good baklava.
I shall have to make sure to order some. Perhaps we should meet there.
I want some now.
Same, man. Oh, D&D making me hungry.
I can hear the pair of us salivating at the idea.
Perhaps we should.
Yeah, and I'm impressed with myself. That was how many episodes ago?
Yeah,
Well
I
done.
remembered. We should meet there this evening. Perhaps at 8?
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
I look forward to speaking there. Please feel free to bring a friend or two.
I shall. Thank you very much. And I make the parting gesture again and
She
return
responds
to Molly.
this time, bowing slightly.
I return to Molly and little Corzin.
Well, it's just the way. I'm sorry, it's only the egg that you broke open before you left.
Fair enough. Thank you. You know how occasionally you have those moments where it's like, no, I can't put this off. Yeah.
Little Corzin nods excitedly. Mm-hmm. Look, Pa! I want a pie! He points to the mostly eaten remnants in a pie dish.
Oh, fantastic! And how did you do that?
Well, there was a whole thing where we had to get an apple and put it in a sling and throw it at another apple on a man's head.
Oh, fantastic! And you knocked the apple off, right?
Third try.
Hey, excellent! That's more. And I pick him up and give him a big hug.
A very bruised-looking Carney stumbles by in the background.
Concussed.
I'll flip him a silver for his trouble.
He raises a sort of weak raised thumb and stumbles on. Interestingly, you're not the only one to do this. You get the feeling that maybe this guy might be making more money in sympathy for taking his lumps than he does in the actual William Tell-esque apple shy.
Well, fair enough.
And you continue to have a lovely time with your family. And we'll pick up perhaps with coffee and baklava after these, no doubt important, messages.
The fun fair's in town, so hurry, don't delay, join the fun. Grab yourself some candy floss. See if you can hook a duck. Test your might on the big hammer and bell thing. See if you're in with a chance to win an apple pie by knocking an apple off Larry's head when he's recovered from the last lot. Don't get lost in the hall of mirrors, and backed by popular demand, splat the rat.
And welcome back. Now, before you go to your coffee shop meeting, invitation, obviously, Corzin, I assume you tell the others.
Yes, I do.
Is there anything you want to do, any preparations you want to make?
For going to the coffee shop, other than just informing Scamp and Celestia, I think the only other thing I would do is, obviously, finish the rest of the time I had with little Corzin, get him back to the ship, into bed, bedtime story, then heading out. I will inform Molly of what I'm intending to do, and go out with Celestia and Scamp.
Okay. So,
Do we have time before this point to talk about getting everyone in the room at the table who should be at the table? Because it'd be nice to be able to go in with a, we're doing this.
It's a good point, actually.
you do.
Yeah.
So,
That's smart.
you have time. What do you want to... Tell me what you want to do.
Well, who's organising the thing?
I feel like Alton might be a good start.
Yeah,
Is it Alton
organising
who's running this?
I mean, he'll at least know who's running it. If he is.
sharing it, I think.
So, to save you some time... Yeah, Alton is the right place to start. And will definitely be able to get you into... Like, we'll be able to get the context. It's basically either... You can either talk to Alton or to Governor Sendui, who's, in a sense, both hosting and nominally the representative of the immigrant cities in the upcoming convention. So, either way. So, actually, yes. Who would you like to take this to?
Well,
Is it polite to take it to Alton first since he's invited us?
I think so, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
All right, then.
I mean, it's either or both, but I think, yeah, let's try Alton first.
How soon into Celestia being sick are we?
So you're a bit shivery.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Like, it's not as bad as it was. It's certainly not as bad as it was with opium, but you're not feeling great today. You're kind of dragging yourself out to do this one. We're about, we're gonna say like 3 days in, so it's enough time that you're like, this is your first day on the Jim Diamond.
It feels bad, yeah.
Yeah. All right. You
On the walk there. If it gets too stressful, I'm leaving.
Understood.
Yeah.
But
You
distraction
don't need
sounds...
to make any excuses.
The distraction sounds like a nice thing, so let's do that.
as ever, you are because of your, well, frankly, your personal connection. Not to mention the fact that your status as heroes of the city. You are very. Alton is more than willing to bump you up to the top of his schedule. Not least because
also they know what happens if they leave us in a waiting room too long.
They have learned.
Oh yeah, if Alton can't see you, he just tells you to come back at a different time. He doesn't make you wait. He knows how this goes.
Otherwise, your furniture is going to end up as interesting other things.
Yeah. So Alton very quickly sees you. This time without the sort of administrative assistant of before. Right, I got a message that you wanted to speak to me. I'm assuming that means some progress on the matter that we discussed before.
Yes. In fact,
Sort of.
I was approached by another member of one of the Achene nations earlier today, and I think it would be advantageous if we can get as many of them as possible at the table with us.
Anyone who wants to. Yeah, we've spoken to some folks from some other ones as well. Basically, why aren't they invited already?
I think I need to go back a little here. What you're saying that there is that we've got representatives from the Achene nations in the city?
Yes, quite a few, actually.
Yeah, who are all congregating here because you're having a big fucking meeting without them.
Yeah, and they're worried about what's going to be decided without them.
Well, I mean, the question, that's an interesting one. I suppose your question is, why weren't they invited? Is if you're having an argument with your cousins, do you normally invite your neighbours to the table?
If your neighbours are... If your neighbours are sharing a house and it relates to them, yeah. They're not your neighbours, they're your roommates.
It's what happens here and what is decided here is going to affect them one way or another, so they really ought to have a space at the table.
Unless you want to be their enemies forever.
I mean, I don't think we need more enemies right now. No, it's fair. It's genuinely it's just not something that occurred to me, because bear in mind, I'm looking at this from the perspective of war with Assyria.
No, and I understand that, although, think about it. If Assyria were to blast their way through the defences here, like they almost did before, and then move inland, they're not going to stop with any of the people who are rebelling here. They are going to move further inland. They are going to be encroaching on the various different other Achene nations that exist. That's something that I think everyone would like to avoid. So it's more a case of how do we do that, rather than, deciding, what's the best play for one particular group of people over another. We need to make sure that everyone here has an understanding of what's happening, what's likely to occur, and how, if at all, they can affect things.
And if you want to be real, selfish and mercenary about the whole thing, what's to stop the Assyrians going and having a little chat with the Achene and giving them better assurances that they'll be protected than anything you've offered them?
It would be
because you've offered them nothing.
It would be foolhardy to think that the Assyrians haven't at least considered that.
I mean, that seems pretty sensible. Scamp. We're friends. We've gone through some shit together.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you're in a sort of combative mood for some reason, but I have been here literally as long as you have. So...
why aren't you thinking of these things?
Oh, I don't know, because I've not been venturing around the continent. I've been fighting a chiefly defensive battle in mostly one place and trying to get to grips with it all. So...
I'm just annoyed that we're the first person to suggest it to you. There should have been someone who said it first. This ain't on you. This is on the people advising you if you haven't got the time to go doing it.
Well, look, we can quite understand that there's been a survivalist attitude towards the securing of this city and its people. Yeah. Given the circumstances, that's absolutely understandable. But we are in the midst of having a conference that is going to do more than ensure the survival of this city and its environs. It's going to hopefully ensure that the people of this continent have not only the opportunity to survive but to live properly. And what form that takes may well be heavily affected by what happens here. So, with that in mind, we need as many people at the table as we can.
Okay.
As many representatives of the people who live here.
I mean, when it comes down to it, sorry, I'm not feeling amazing. When it comes down to it, even on just like a pure surface level, we're all talking about how we like don't know this continent and we're new and stuff. It's a bit embarrassing that none of us thought to like ask the people who've lived here for ages.
Oh, fair enough. Again, I'm getting a sense of all of this from, as it were, my fancy new hat and seat. So, my understanding... so, some of what you talked about, we thought, like, that has come up. Definitely the risk of Syria hiring a Chin to fight as mercenaries. They've done it before. Some of the soldiers here who've fought in the last war with Sul here said as much.
Well, Sulians have done it in the other direction, as far as I've heard.
I assume if there's mercenaries available, you're going to hire them on both sides, unless you've had bad experiences with mercenaries.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I've kind of been thinking of it. I've been certainly thinking of it in a tactical sense of whether we can put together funds for hiring mercenaries or the like, but we don't. All right, we don't have really solid numbers, at least here with me, on the Aegean nations. Like, I can tell you we have, like, in terms of what people here in the city and so on sort of know and think about them. As far as we're aware, there is some off to the east that live in those big stone cities you talked about, the ones from giant times. Because you told stories. You told some stories about going to Inyan and to
Tiope.
Yeah, that was it. And like, we know about them. And we know that there's more off to the west, and there's more off to the west, and they've gotten into some troubles with the faithful types, and then to the south, there's a bunch of them that ride giant eagles and griffins. Sorry, actually, it's griffins. Yeah, that ride griffins, which is honestly, between you and me, pretty fucking impressive. And they raid us all the damn time, and we're sort of in a state of not exactly war, but back and forth raiding with them.
Well, it sounds like the Yamasaur.
Is that their name? Great, finally. People have just been calling them the Griffin Raiders to me.
I think that's the other name that they go by, but yeah, it's a specific group called the Yamasaur. Apparently
It's
there's
an
some in the
accurate
city
description.
wanting to cause problems, actually. But there's also some other groups. One that we talked to were maybe up for being at the table in a, like, potentially an alliance kind of way, and, we're short on troops and stuff. But every group of Aegean is going to have their own opinion on whether they want to, like, be part of an alliance, work with us, not work with us, but we've got to bring them to the table so that they can have a chance to fucking say, right?
Okay. No, I mean, that's fair. Listen, I can bring this up with Governor Hui, and she's an idealist, same as most of the new working government, but if we're going to invite these them, I no doubt they're going to have their own demands. Like, in terms of the war that we're going to need to fight, like, how much of a difference can they make? Because, like, I have, like, we don't. When I tell you that we don't have the numbers, I genuinely don't. We genuinely don't know if those Griffin riders have, like, you know, if there's like 1,000 of them and 50 Griffins, or if there's 30,000 of them and, you know, 500, because that's one of those numbers makes a heck of a lot more difference to a war.
We've only got
So
one set of
intelligence
numbers.
gathering.
We've got one set of panic.
I can't remember if we were. Are we allowed to?
Oh, maybe
share?
we're
What
not.
were they
Yeah,
happy
well,
for us
hang
to
on. I
share?
can't remember. Were we allowed to share or no?
I
It might be a secret. Yeah.
So my understanding is that a degree of
Because
confidentiality.
Celestia wouldn't actually break that. That's
a
me
degree of
guessing.
confidential. A degree. Keen-eared listeners may correct me if I'm wrong here, but this is from memory, from my dubious memory, is part of the reason that Telesonero shared strategic information about what the Panicky are able to bring to the table was to help make the case that they deserve a seat at that table.
Right. So he was actually
Great.
saying, like, don't stand on the
Don't
building
discount
and
it.
shout it, but
Yeah.
maybe tell your leader so that they can be invited.
Tell the right people.
Yeah, they don't want this, like, it is sensitive information. They don't want it broadcast. They don't want it leaked. But it's a case of, like, no.
This is the right person to
No, look at my hand. I got 2 jacks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We have one set of numbers. You're not allowed to spread them around, or it will fuck the relationship up.
All right. Have you got those written down?
Yep. I don't know what they translate to in
Yeah,
actual.
no. It's actually
Yeah.
it's a more elaborate series of notes. But you see, but you watch as Apple Blossom kind of skims over those, makes like takes a pencil, like does a couple of quick jots and frowns, and then his eyebrows raise.
In militaristic terms, none of them are insignificant.
Also, we might be able to find out some more.
That is now. See, those are numbers I can take to the governor, and say that's worth that's worth an invitation. Don't get me wrong; they're not going to swing them by themselves, but it's enough to make. But it's a reason to sit up and listen.
There's a difference, right?
Do you think that the
It's worth finding out what the others have, because they could sway it against us if we're not lucky.
Oh.
and the best way to try and get that information would be to formally invite them? I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're more likely to get them on side if we know that that's an option. If we go and say this is something that might happen, it's not going to necessarily do much.
Okay.
Think of it as like town hall meetings back in the day. There's representatives from all different members of the local community. If anyone's not there for any reason, that's as significant as the people who are there.
Wow, halfling government is different to what I grew up with. Sorry,
I don't
carry
doubt
on.
it. But the point being is, like, I don't imagine it's exactly the same in the Underdark, but, like, surely there's an equivalent of if a group of people or a single individual is shunned at an important social or political gathering, that's significant, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Well then.
And if it's anything like a halfling town meeting, they'll hold a grudge over it for years.
No, forever.
Oh, like centuries.
I mean, I think Drow are more likely to just be challenged to a duel and murdered, but I mean, if that's not an option, grudge forever, yeah.
Speaking of getting murdered, you said that there was one of these groups might be here to disrupt or sabotage or something?
Yeah, what's the word? What are they called? I've just said it.
It's the Amazon.
Oh my god, thank you. My brain just went, you don't get that word. Fuck
Translates
you.
to Children of the Sky.
Yeah. Yeah, the Yamaso apparently aren't very happy. That's all we know, really.
Right.
But they're not pleased about
We'd
the
like
whole
to be able to, like, have a chat and try and persuade them that there are other routes, but
thing. I don't know if
that
that'll
ship
go
might have
well.
sailed. Yeah, we might be past that point with them.
We have to at least try.
Well, we can...
Or maybe ask others for information on them if all else fails.
Yeah.
Tell you what. We can... I'll talk with the governor about... I think that this is enough of a case for me to convince her to extend an invitation. If we've got people... If we've got known... I guess the equivalent would be heads of state or councillors or whatever. We can try and send to them with invitations to get quickly, and then do formal written ones later.
I think that would be a good show of, friendship. Or at least attempted friendship. Again, whether they take it up is up to them, but I think it's got to be on the table.
Yeah.
Fair.
And if any of them have issues getting here in time because we've left it a bit late, just let us know and we'll see if we can help get them closer.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming up towards 2 weeks, 20 days to get here. But you could just about get here from Sablaport, that's the furthest west of the colonies. So, provided there's none further out than much further out than that, if we get that message off, if we get those invitations out today, tomorrow, they should be able to make it in time.
Alright, that's good.
Plus,
Hopefully that could tip the scales a bit.
if, as you say, there's some already in the city, I'm sure they can present themselves more formally at that point. Alright, you've convinced me.
Thanks. Oh, shit. The other thing.
Thank you.
There's another thing.
Have I mentioned this to you, the Ebon Guard?
And they're always.
Yeah.
I didn't say it directly last time. I'm planning on... This is really, really confidential, but I'm planning on taking over command. Not today. Today's not a good day for that. But,
No, you look a bit under the weather, frankly.
I'm not very well. As I mentioned to you, my mum runs them. How it works is I challenge her for the family estate, and then I would have control of the Ebon Guard. I can't guarantee to you that they would all stay working for me, because I'm not going to make them. But that's the plan. So I might get murdered, but I might take control of the Ebon Guard and be lavishly wealthy and stuff. So
On the flip side,
Okay, so Drow society really does work on the kill the king, become the king rules. Then.
yeah, I mean, technically you don't have to kill your mum. A lot of people, in nice little families, daughter wafts a sword at the mother, and the mother goes, "Oh, I'm defeated," and that's that counts. But that's not how mine's going to be. I think there's scenarios where neither of us are dead, but it does have to be a fight one. Yeah, well, I'm working on it.
And the point being is that, regardless of anything else, the absolute worst case scenario, if Nivara Rothnal is no longer in command of the Ebon Guard, is they're not a threat to you or anything that happens on this continent.
Yeah, well, I say I'm not willing to promise them as troops on principle, because that's not how I'm going to do things. But if any of them want to stay and be part of the revolution, they're very welcome to. So I don't know how many of them will remain, but they might at least be off the table.
And also
Worst
they're not
case
in the
scenario.
hands of the Orsirians.
Ooh. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd prefer the extra armed forces, but I'll take being taken off the table.
Yeah, I just... If it was my sister doing this, she'd be like, yeah, they're yours, but that's not... No. Yeah.
So you're saying your sister would...
Oh yeah, she'd just take control and put them where she wanted them, regardless of what they might want.
Yeah, but this ain't going to be a thing she wants, is it? So
No.
don't trust her if she turns up.
Oh yeah, my family are all for Syria, so you get... Again, so confidential, darling.
Right.
If you get any wind of the Rothenall family, that's what they're doing.
Okay.
I don't know fucking why, to be honest. It's confusing as fuck. I don't know what the fuck their intentions are, but I know that they're with Syria right now. So, yeah.
Ooh. Right.
Feel free to,
I
you know,
will
if my
pass
sister
that.
gets murdered in combat, that's fine. My brother, I might feel weird about that now. So, yeah.
Oh. It's just...
I just thought I should let you know that that was the plan. Whether it'll work or not, you know, no guarantees, but I'm going to try.
Right. Alton sort of, like, leans a little towards Corzin, is it? I heard the Drow Society was a bit funny about gender, but I didn't think it was. It didn't realise how happy-go-lucky they were about killing off their womenfolk.
Oh, no, you have no idea.
What'd you say?
It's saying it's quite the relationship you got with your mother and your sister there.
No, it's a bit,
Yeah.
It's a fantastic understatement.
Putting it mildly.
Right. Well,
I'll keep you updated anyway.
thank you.
Yeah.
And
Likewise, if you get any news of anything, let us know.
If there's anything we can help with.
certainly will. And if you can get me any more numbers like that, that will be very helpful.
We'll do what we can.
Right. And
Yeah, we'll try.
is there anyone I should be anyone you already know I should be making these invitations out to?
Oh, I mean, I can't remember any fucking names out of
Calcinea.
character. Well done.
Telesinero, and that's where you make
That's
some
the Kanuki, yeah.
Right, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, well at least we got one named representative. That's something. All right, well I guess we'll sort that out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And and you are dismissed and free to go to your coffee. So you head off, having provided nothing goes wrong with Alton's meeting with the governor, secured invitations for the Achene at the conference. You head to the Gilded Fish. The Gilded Fish being the restaurant and coffee house around at the front, because around the back is the brothel, the Gilded Lily, which does serve coffee.
A coffle, if you will.
And so many other things.
And yes, it serves much of that.
It serves.
A bit of the other.
Gilded Lily, it serves.
It does.
But yes, you are met, like you not going for fish, but you take a private booth, and at 5 or 10 minutes past 8, you see the three of you see Tekakwitha arrive and head to the booth. She doesn't have the traveller's cloak, but is wearing usual white cotton dress with a patterned brown and black hemline. It is of similar sort of Achene style in some ways to the styles that you've seen on, say, the Yamasaur with more of the brown or red and with black lines, but hers has white as a predominant theme with those elements as accents. She does the little. She actually, rather than doing the little Acheen salute, she offers a hand to shake. It is my thanks for accepting the invitation.
Thank you for
Of
the
course, and I
invitation.
take her hand.
She shakes it and takes a seat.
Yeah.
The waiter comes by and she orders one frozen coffee for me. Yourselves?
Same, please.
Yeah, I'll take that, and perhaps one of those sharing platters.
And some baklava, please.
I would like a sharing platter of baklava for me, please.
How do you fit that much sugar inside you?
Sharing platters of baklava. Very good. Thank you.
Told
They've
you
got
it's where the
hollow
magic
legs.
comes from.
Please, please put it on my
Yep.
tab. Of course.
Oh, you don't have to do that. That's a lot of baklava for one person to have to buy.
Tekakweetha gives you a thin smile, but there's a crinkle of the eyes to it. That is quite all right. I apologize for... Sorry, wrong accent. That is quite all right. I apologize for my delay. I had invited you to meet me for a coffee in the cafe portion at the back. However, this will serve.
We can move if you prefer somewhere quieter.
She shakes her head. Provided our conversation does not delve into too many particulars, this will serve.
Right.
I gather the establishment prides itself on its discretion when needed.
Also, if it gets to anything a bit too sensitive, our ship is sanctumed. You're very welcome.
Of course.
I have chosen this as a neutral ground.
Of course. Whatever's
Very well.
comfortable.
You have mentioned before a number of interested parties. It struck me that this may be a fruitful start to a conversation. I regret that we did not speak more before you left Thunder's Watch. However, again, I am Tekakweetha, Fire Eyes.
I remember Celestia Stardust. Hello.
Corzin Horhace, pleased to meet you.
Scamp friend.
Again.
She blinks rarely but quickly when she does. I understand that you have been a major part of the fighting here of late.
Yes, I guess you could say that.
Well, certainly in the battle with the Arcerians, yes.
People I have spoken to speak highly of your roles there.
It's kind of them.
Great.
It was a close fought thing.
With a number of ships, and some of which, as I understand it, were destroyed with powerful magic.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got a bit of magic between us all.
We do.
It seems that you are well travelled as well.
We do get about a bit.
We've seen some of this
Just a bit, yeah.
Not everything, but some of it.
We'd like to see more.
We would.
Is there anywhere in particular you would like to see?
Can't remember the names of anywhere, Jason.
Sorry, describe
there's-
roughly where the place is, and I'll see if I can, or like what you're going for.
It's the place
Well, I mean,
with the
close to here.
urban guard lodges. Where is it?
Oh,
I
Aptak?
can't remember. It's not
yeah,
Aptak.
It's not Aptak. Aptak
I think
is
we've been
the-
to Aptak, haven't we?
Aptak. I don't think you've ever actually
Maybe
been to
we haven't
Aptak.
been to Aptak.
You've been to Aptak in a vision.
no, it's up the river from here.
Yeah. No, the Tayhawk is near to where it was the Tayhawk is the remaining largest settlement of the 7 peoples, and it is near there, somewhere nearish there, that the Ebengard Lodge is.
Tayhawk, was that?
Tayhawk.
Tayhawk.
Tehoc.
Thank you. I have notes and I literally can't read them. Like, they're so bad.
It's the dark yellow one on the map.
Oh, amazing. Yes. Maps exist.
I don't know
I'm
if
going to
this will
find the
be,
map.
included with the episode, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's the one we're referring to anyway.
Yeah.
I need to just make a note.
It will
of-
at least
include
tell
map
me
again.
names of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been with the last one, so...
Oh
check
no,
that.
I'm just literally writing in notes so that when I come to publish these, I remember to actually start putting the maps back in.
We put so much shit in our group chat. I'm like, scroll through
We really
just to
should,
find
like,
this fucking map.
have
There we
like
go.
a group chat that is
I can
just...
put it in the group chat again if you want.
I swear, I've got it.
Cool.
Tayhawk, there we go.
Yeah.
Yes, I found it. Cracking.
So yes, is there anywhere you would like to visit?
Oh, we were thinking of taking a look at Tayhawk sometime.
Tayhawk is a beautiful valley. There was once more to it, but it remains a place of peace.
We've only really travelled east from here. The west parts of Sunder towards, back towards Thunder's Watch, St. Gregorsville, and Port Devereux, we've yet to explore.
A lot of country in between that. Further
A
inland.
lot. Yes.
Indeed. Had you followed the thunder down from Thunder's Watch, you might have visited the city of Imita, or
I've heard
perhaps
much of it.
it is a
It's certainly on the list.
place of beauty, different in nature to the grand ruins of Inyan or Tiope. More...
Is Imita, if I'm remembering correctly, where you were born?
She doesn't answer, but there is a brief twist of a smile before she continues that you feel is an affirmative. She continues, though, the city is almost like a tower, or built tower upon tower, like gardens hanging one upon another,
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
the Panuki built their cities in the shells of the Cloud Walkers past. Inyan was built around and out from one of their spires. Thus, it may be much taller than most, but it remains, by the grace of the dreams, a place of great beauty and verdant. see. Green.
Huh. Sounds stunning.
Wow.
Is there any way
I'd
you'd
very much like
recommend
to see it one day.
if we were travelling around?
One day, if there were time, I would say to come to Imita during the Festival of Clouds.
Oh, we heard about that.
But I fear
Yeah.
you may not have time for such. It is a number of months away.
Probably not right now.
We can travel quite fast when we want to, but we'd love to one day.
I understand there are a number of well-travelled folks visiting Newmark right now.
She blinks. As there always are. But, yes.
I'm trying to be oblique and I'm trying to think how to say it. If there were a place to meet a lot of these people at once, you would be invited.
She blinks twice. It seems that tonight is a night of many invitations, then.
Seems so.
And what do you imagine I would bring to this invitation, this party?
That would be up to you.
Your voice. That's
You're
all.
Yes. You're a representative of your people.
Or obviously you may choose a different representative. Up to you.
Her eyes flicker for a
But
moment.
it's not an invitation for one if a group's preferable. But what you would bring would be up to you.
And what can you... She sort of gestures with one hand broadly, like around her. And what can you, gestures broadly around, and what can you, gestures forward, offer me and mine?
What would you want?
What is important to you?
We don't know you very well.
But we would like to know you better.
She studies each. Her eyes flick between you. One, then the other, then the other. Corzin and Celestia.
Mm-hmm.
You may make your choice, depending on where your focus is, of an insight check, a persuasion check, or if you are attempting to pull something, potentially a deception check. Scamp. You actually have the same three options, but you may get different information and senses.
I think it's insight, because I don't think I'm actually trying to persuade her right now.
Me too, I'm going inside.
Just sort of trying to make her... I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really trying to make her do anything. I'm just trying to kind of understand, so I'm going to go for insight.
Okay.
Natural one, but lucky.
Hey. That is a 15.
Remind me of the three options.
Insight, persuasion, or deception.
Oof.
It's an 18 on the insight.
It's gonna probably be insight as well then, because I don't think I've not really said much. I'm not being persuasive, and I'm certainly not being deceptive. Are tides available?
Oh, interestingly, they are actually currently flipped to chaos,
Oh, dear.
but I will let you flip them if you roll me a TD100s. Because I've
This is fine.
forgotten about them from the previous time.
So fine.
42 and 71.
Okay. Let's see, 42 and 71. Okay.
Oh dear.
You see two futures. One is going to be confusing, and the other is going to be explosive.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
Oh, good.
Oh, jeez. Is it time for these to start causing diplomatic incidents? Because that's happened, like, not that many times.
How explosive and how confusing, and do I get any sense of how targeted?
Oh, they're both targeted on you.
Just me?
You're certainly the center of whatever effect happens.
Well, then we can't do explosive, can we?
Definitely
Because
not.
Yeah, probably best not.
That's the end of everything, potentially.
Okay, you do not.
Yeah.
You do not select the future in which you are consumed by coloured flames. So it's just one of those two. Wow. Okay. Scamp, just let me know the next time you try to speak. So
Oh, no.
so Corzin got an 18 on the insight check. Scamp, sorry, what did you get?
Oh, I haven't rolled because I was
yes, you need to
busy
roll.
being weird.
Celestia, what did you roll?
15.
Thank you.
God, that was barely worth it. 19.
That seems a shame for that level of sacrifice.
Okay. Well, actually, not necessarily. So, Celestia, your read of Tekakwitha is that she is definitely playing with her cards close to her chest. And she is, but she called you here to get a read of you personally. And there's definitely some sort of study or judgment going on by her. Corzin, you get that sense, but also a sense that she is scrutinizing the three of you very directly in some way. Like she's getting a very strong, like she's paying particular attention to the three of you.
Okay.
Maybe, though you're not entirely sure. You're not entirely sure what conclusions she's drawing. Scamp, you can tell that she's reading the three of you. That like she's assessing you. But you notice. But the thing that you notice in particular is that sometimes her eyes will, like when studying Corzin or Celestia, will slightly flick off to one side of them as well as onto them. But she's always staring. But when she looks at you, it's always you directly. She I think the last... I haven't done all that. The last question you asked was what she wants.
Yeah.
What... My people, were I to speak in a, what is the term? Estimation.
Mm-hmm.
A guess of what they might ask or desire. I would say that I'm just getting a moment to think about how she'd phrase this. We have little desire to become dragged into any war.
Seems fair.
We believe that this matter need not concern us. At least, not as it stands. There is a consideration, not regarding these cities, she gestures around, but elsewhere. The missionaries that the furious send in particular, and your regency. If those could stop, perhaps we might be persuaded to use our position as leaders among the Achin to convince others to act in certain ways.
All right, good to know.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Your people are strong spiritual leaders amongst, or like
We
have a lot of knowledge and influence?
She smiles a little at that.
I don't know a lot.
Oh no, I forgot. You just tried to speak. Scamp.
shit.
Oh, balls.
That.
This is a weird one because it's a question of what is native.
Imagine
for
if it's
you.
the one where you shout every time you speak. This would be the worst
I was
conversation.
going to say, yeah.
No, it's not. Scamp, what languages do you know?
Oh, what languages do I know? Common, Dwarvish, Infernal.
Cool. You open your mouth to start asking this question, and you just completely blank on the words for it in Jovan. But you can figure out how to say it. You could definitely say it in Infernal or Dwarven, though.
Huh?
Do either of you speak Dwarven?
A little
not.
bit of Dwarven.
Okay.
Like, Celestia can canonically kind of just about do a trade in Dwarven.
Because I don't think either of you
Yeah,
speak
you can ask how
Infernal.
much is your hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was, wasn't it? How much is this
Yeah.
hammer? Yeah. And, like, maybe a couple of other things, you know? You okay, darling?
I seem to have forgotten how to speak common, like Joven.
Something about Joven.
So
Forgotten.
Scamp begins to
Joven
speaking
is
in Dwarven.
Dead? I think
Okay,
that's the Dwarvish
DM
word for
question.
dead.
Yeah.
In this setting, does Dwarven and Giant use the same alphabet?
Emphatically not.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Those
Figured I should ask,
No, those
but
fuckers
yeah.
are ancestral enemies. Would you use the written language of the people who killed your god? No.
No, absolutely not. Cool.
Friend, do you speak Dwarven? Or Infernal?
Are they just sliding between Dwarven and Infernal?
Yeah, kind of like So Scamp is going like, gosh, what would this be? We're like, Greinish, the Stormstess is like Tekik Waither is like looking, raises an eyebrow at this, and friend says, just in your head at the moment, Scamp, I speak Infernal.
Could you tell Celestia and Corzin that I seem to have forgotten how to speak Joven?
The pair of you hear the voice. Your friend here. Scamp can't remember how to speak Joven. I can relay their words if you want to translate.
That would be very helpful, thank you.
Yes,
Please excuse our companion. They have,
They're not feeling very well.
yes, they have a magical thing that affects them from time to time. It's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it'll stop soon.
Yes.
For now, we can translate.
Of course. Okay, she fumbled that. Scam, based on your previous insight roll, and I guess Corzin would notice this as well, you can tell that while a little shocked, Tekikuitha does not seem surprised by you having by random magical effects coming from Scamp.
Oh, she knows something.
I mean, like, if you were going to spy on people, like, yeah, that's pretty key information, really, isn't it? Tiefling has crazy big magic. Like, yeah.
Of course. Forgive me, I assume you are asking something, she says to Scamp.
Yes, what we were asking Scamp, I'll translate. Can we, like, assume
Yeah.
one of us is translating from it so that Bobs doesn't have to just be, like, out of the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just honestly, I've lost the train of thought. It was something about. Look, I don't know how to say that. You put this into better words than my garbled infernal, but this is a person I think that has spirit sight, and I'm assuming is this one of the groups that was big on the magic, or at least the religious magic-y stuff?
There's a certain amount of garbling from Scamp, from Scamp, and then you hear a friend go, Scamp thinks they have spirit sight. Was this what and is asking?
Would I be right in? Would we be right in thinking that either you or many of your people are dream speakers?
The Anawa are so known as the dream talkers for the number of dream speakers we attract. Yes, it is why why the Achean nations would listen to us. We are their spiritual leaders.
That makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that does.
Oh, we can see what we can do about the missionaries.
She inclines her head.
We'll keep in touch.
Please do.
we've got to go talk to some. I'm not making a promise in case I can't, in case it doesn't work, but we can try.
She thinks for a moment.
Because, yeah, the Regency shouldn't be allowed to do what they did in Seoul over here. That wouldn't help many people.
Her eyes flick up. What happened in Seoul?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Corzin and Scamp, because you lived in Jova longer than I did, but I said Seoul, Jova generally, there's a pretty dominant Regency vibe.
Ah.
There's not really any other religions.
Yes.
Or any other attitudes.
I mean,
even here...
frankly, I assume there are other attitudes, but you're not really allowed to have them.
Well, even here, there are variants on the belief system that exists back in Jova. Like all of the churches to the different saints. That would be...
Saints.
Sort of... Yes.
Other spirits or
Yes.
gods or whatever.
It's what they call the dream.
Idea of the shattered will. There's a slight look of distaste.
Yeah, it's always
back
sounded
in-
like bollocks to me, to be honest.
Back in Jova, the prevailing attitude is that the all of the spirits or dreams, as your people would refer to them, are disparate parts of a greater whole.
I am familiar with the lies of with the tales.
You can speak freely on that one. You're in a good crowd for it.
That are told. Understand, it is the dreams have great power, and much can be learned and done by speaking with them, but it is folly, tempting, easily seducing folly to believe that they are superior. Give them the chance, and they will make your people bend to them. The dream has power over flesh only if we are foolish enough to let them.
Was she talking about the Regent specifically, or just dreams generally?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, okay, cool. It's ambiguous on paper.
It's a
Cool,
little
cool.
ambiguous.
I thought that I was losing the thread because sometimes I do that in longer sentences. 4.
Like, in the sense
No,
that,
5. 5.
She could be either. She could be. This could be. You can't really tell. Maybe
Fuck
she.
it, I'm playing Celestia. I'm
Yeah.
just going to ask her because this is the sort of character this is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking about the Regent specifically, or spirits generally? Dreams generally? Yeah.
It is. Of course, you have grown up with the lies.
Different ideas.
The dreams have power, but to exert that power, they require assistance, one to bridge the gap. You know this, both of you
Yes.
know this.
Corzin will look sideways at the ambivalent octopus.
Yeah. Pointing got a point.
Yep.
However, most people cannot serve as such a bridge.
It's
They
rare.
cannot see, but they can still be affected. If foolish speakers act in such a way as to spread the dream that dream is stronger than flesh, that the dream that they speak to will reward them with power, but grows stronger.
I get you. That makes sense.
It is dangerous, short-sighted. It is a way to bring your whole people into bondage under dreams.
I mean, I'm from the Underdark. Yeah. So that can happen.
It
It
is
certainly can.
the truth that the Cloud Walkers knew.
So what's your solution to that? She doesn't have a spirit, does she?
She doesn't.
Right.
But can she see ours?
Scamp thinks she can, at least.
Okay.
If she is able to see yours, at least as far as you can tell, she's done a good job of hiding it.
Okay.
I'm going to start looking for tells. As somebody...
Me too.
Frankly, as somebody who hid being sighted for, like, a really long time,
Okay.
I'm just, like, from this point onwards, I'm going to start, like, actively looking for that.
All right. I would like both of you can roll an insight check, but with disadvantage, because the question of spirit sight has been brought up.
That is fair, yeah.
So if she is. So if
I
she,
hope that didn't come across as trying to
No, no,
re-roll a
but
thing.
if
It was
she
just,
is-
it was for that, like, specific thing of,
Yeah.
like, I have experience doing this, do I recognise that she's
Yeah.
doing it? Well, that's decent, actually.
Insight with disadvantage.
15.
That's a 9.
If she is spirit sighted, she's very good at hiding it. You can't detect any tells, at least during this short conversation. But with the insight check that you get, Celestia, you can tell that she does have her guard up in a general sense anyway.
That's fair. So what is this seems to be important to people, this idea. What's your reaction to it? People deal with the power of dreams in a lot of ways, right? There are the idiots with the Regency, who, as you say, give them too much power. There are the idiots down below, who give the Spider Gods too much power. But there are also the people in Haldanos, who worship certain small spirits in a different way. There are people who... There are a lot of different things that go on.
To subordinate yourself to a spirit is to give them power over you.
So, how do you avoid that?
It was once the way, and this was the path taken by the Cloud Walkers to bind, control the dream, to make the dream subordinate to flesh. The Cloud Walkers gained great power from this, but they are gone. They were destroyed by their long war against the dreams, though especially those that sought dominion over flesh. We survived by walking a middle path, treating, not fearing or ignoring the power that dreams have. We do not bend the knee, nor are we so foolish as the rare cloud speaker that tries to follow in the cloud walker's footsteps and try to bind them. Something that I note many of your mages do as well. Creating such imprisoned forms. She gestures vaguely over it. She gestures vaguely in the direction of Marjorie, who's like pecking at a little bowl of
God.
little bowl of water.
Oh no! Shit. Cool.
The coffee by this
Cool,
time,
cool,
and
cool.
Backlever has arrived. So occasionally she'll pick up a piece of baklava and chew on it while you're speaking and so on.
Oh, I've just got this wonderful mental image of like this really quiet, weighty conversation. Scamp just stuffing their face with baklava.
What's she saying?
Yep.
Instead, we treat them as the situation requires. Sometimes dangers, sometimes cautious allies. But never above, never below. We do not walk with them all the time. There is the risk of subordination. There is power in that close relationship. It is that power that seduces unwise dream speakers.
Just smile at her. Is she at all, like, meaningfully looking at my obviously spirit-riddled appearance?
If she's not, if she
Because,
is,
like, you don't have to be sighted with,
Like-
like Celestia, do you? There's something going on.
you get the feeling that this is there's a moment where she says this, actually, I'll say, and that she says this and then pulls back a little as she seems to realise who she's levelling her rhetoric at.
Celestia just grins at her. Not,
But-
like, unkindly, just...
I ask you, do you bow?
No.
Then you are wise.
We're the same thing at this point. And it was always equal, I think. There was always give and take, and trust grew. I mean, think of somebody you're very, very close to. Like a soulmate, whether that's a friend or a lover or, you know, whatever that means to you. It's a very specific relationship. I don't have another one like it, and now we're one and the same, but we chose that. It felt right. Nobody made anybody do anything.
She tilts her head a little, blink in a kind of bird-like fashion, blinking. Yes, I see the truth of that. There is a beauty and a tragedy to it. Your companion does not ask you to spread its dream, but by walking with it, you do. That dream may outlast you.
It's been explained.
That is not the dream promised by fury and purity.
No. No, it isn't. That's very different.
Those dreams seduce. They will have those who cannot speak bound and bent at the knee, and reward those who follow them more lavishly than we. She pauses for a moment. Than is wise to engage with the dream.
That makes sense. The relationship is different. Not in a good way.
Indeed. I am comforted that you understand this.
No, definitely. We've seen a lot of messed up relationships with dreams.
She nods.
But also, my own experience has been, as you say, equal. We walk together. And we're better for it.
She looks to Corzin. And you?
Our relationship is more of a partnership. And, well, there was a time before, and it's difficult to really put into words, but I think it's fair to say that the relationship we have is one of mutual respect and understanding, and, well, we're stronger together than we were apart. But that doesn't mean necessarily to say that we are one and the same.
Indeed not. The tales told are of you, not your power or the dream around you. She turns to Scamp. And what thoughts have you on these matters?
Well, I mean, it seems like these dreams are creatures or people in their own right, and as varied as like the things that everyone can see in this like normal mundane world is different. As like you got pigeons and you got dogs and cats and people and of all sorts, and they're just as varied and should be treated the same. Like some of them are dangerous, some of them are friendly. Same with people. But you've got to treat them like they're their own things, not... They're not a hammer to be used. They've got their own life.
She... By the way, are you speaking Dwarven or Infernal for the translation? Actually, it would have to be Infernal because...
Friend.
It has to be Infernal.
Friend speaks Infernal. Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's just a question.
We can assume that one of us is
There's
translating
after the,
everything.
following the as the circle of translation completes, she nods. She nods sharply twice. Very well. I will accept your invitation and represent my people. They have informed me already. Now, a small gift for you. 2 members of the Talony. No, not the Talony. Wrong one. Sorry. 2 members of the Yamasor are in the city at present.
Okay, we knew there might be, but we didn't know how many.
They are here as... She pauses for a moment. In an unofficial capacity, observing. However, you will find them in Greywatch Village. I can provide an address.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
We'd be very grateful of that.
You have encountered them before,
Once.
as I understand. She shakes her head twice. No. You have encountered these Achin before. One of them you saved the life of.
Oh.
The other was
And the other
her
one?
lieutenant. Sorry, actually, I suppose. Yeah, they. I suppose the wording would be. The other was her. Gosh, what's the actual word? I guess she pauses for a moment and says, "Lieutenant" is the best translation.
No, I remember.
Elenaida and Hoviodone.
Yeah, one of them wasn't conscious.
She inclines her head.
Hmm.
As so I understand. Yes. They have no doubt noted your appearance in the city.
As Scamp says.
Is that how they cross?
Yeah.
I cannot say. However, they are certainly cross with these colonies. Whether they are cross with you for saving Elenaeda's life or not, I cannot say.
Any advice?
The Yamasor are united by the cause of justice, perhaps revenge, over Aptak. They would gladly see all of this, she gestures, burn to the ground. But they are not without reason. Provide concrete support for my people, and we may intercede. They do, as the others, listen to our words.
Good to know.
Yes, very good to know. Thank you.
These two are likely here on a specific mission. I do not know the details.
But something specific. Okay.
Their location is known to me, but they have done an acceptable job of concealing their intent. She grimaces. One of them, Hoviodone, is a cloud speaker and may conceal their lodging from casual view.
Right, okay.
Good to know.
It might be actually invisible. Right. That is helpful.
I suppose in any case it's still worth our while to go and speak to them if they're willing to speak to us.
If they want to, yeah.
I will allow a suitable amount of time and present myself formally as the representative. Enjoy the what she looks at the handful left, what remains of the baklava.
We'll
Thank
tell Orton and Senhui Sin.
Yes.
Is that right? Oh my god! I just completely forgot her name. We'll tell Orton and Senhui Sin to expect you.
There is no need. They have sent a sending to my people, who have informed me.
Great, lovely.
Oh. Well, that's good then.
Alton, it appear, literally managed to get a sending sent off. They're sending sent off
Like
in the
hours later,
2
yeah.
hours between that meeting and this one.
I mean, we said, time is of the essence. So I
Yeah.
said, wait, man, yeah.
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 That's great. Maybe we should say thank you to Alton. Maybe send a fruit basket or something.
Yeah.
It's like a
Get
Good
us
idea.
Fucking takeaway baklava on the way out of here, couldn't we? That might be a good idea.
yeah.
She does another quick, thin smile and stands and does the Achin bow this time.
Do the same back.
I'll
Farewell.
return it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm sorry about the language barrier.
You eventually get through the translation, and just as you're about, as you were saying language, you kind of going language barrier.
I remembered how to speak
Oh, I
it
understood
again.
that.
I really enjoy the thought that Scamp's voice is an entirely different pitch in Infernal. Something about it
Yeah.
causes it because it's so cute. No, my Infernal's I don't know.
It's like, imagine you're saying, you're talking like this, and then you're going, Ashtas Kimbatron! It's going to be either really low or really high. Ashtas Kimbatron! Ashtas Kimbatron!
Campaign
You're
to
either a
make
little
Jason
goblin
podcast
or
about that.
some sort of nightmare orc. You've got your.
The
That's your
Nightmare
choice.
Orc is my headcanon, but
Yeah.
it's very much up to Robbie.
Oh, it's much more fun that way. Especially since it's not a language I ever learned. It's just innate.
Yeah. I don't know, when somebody's singing voice is entirely a plot twist from their
Yeah.
speaking voice, where you're
Yeah.
fucking what? In my brain, it's always been like
Totally.
that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Tegek with
Yes.
departs, leaving you alone, leaving you at the table. with
With the last two
the-
pieces of
yeah,
baklava.
the
or
remaining
whatever.
pieces of baklava and coffee.
I feel like shit, and I'm going to eat one of those pieces of baklava. No one can stop me. That one's mine.
Do it.
Do it.
Did that go okay?
I think so.
Yes.
Well, we
I think we did all right.
we did a diplomacy there, I think.
Was anyone really fucking worried she was going to reveal that they had a bunch of pillars for a second there? Was it just me?
Well, I couldn't entirely discount the possibility.
It was
but
just the second where she was like, the domineeringness of dreams, and I was like, oh fuck, the whole city's full of fucking anti-spirit pillars, I can feel it. I'm really glad that's not where it went. I'm a little bit ill
Yeah.
to deal with that today, to be honest.
I got more of the impression that they've just got a fundamentally different relationship to spirits as folk in Jover do.
Yeah.
Which,
It feels a bit
given
more
what else
normal.
we've seen this side of the sea, that follows, doesn't it?
I mean, a sort of cautious allyship seems pretty sensible to me, to be honest.
We
Yeah.
also understand that that there's a lot of stuff at play here, and a lot of it has the potential to affect them, or maybe it doesn't. But they ignore it at their peril.
I don't know, I'd not really thought about it in those terms, like people having bad relationships with spirits, but she is right. That's what it's like downstairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Drow society, those who have spirit sight are forced into a specific place, which gives them power, but it also gives them immunity.
But also they do lose something of themselves, right?
Well,
Yeah.
presumably the Empress doesn't permit anything that might even tangentially threaten her dominance over the society, right? I mean, there are no other religions down there.
She's the law bearer.
You said that all the spirits that they work with are all kind of the same sort of type.
Yeah.
Like
basically.
Sander's weird because they had the little light ones and they even had to hide that.
I mean, that was controversial, yeah. Am I sweating? I feel like I'm sweating.
Celestia is, in fact,
Yeah,
sweating.
you look real gross.
Oh, thanks.
It's
I did a really
Right.
good job of like pretending not to be ill for a bit there because it was a
Corzin will
You
take
did,
out
it was
a
very convincing.
handkerchief and dab at the
Yeah, it
forehead.
was properly that kind of thing where you're like having an important conversation, like slightly on the adrenaline, but as soon as it finishes, you're like, I'm so ill. Like it's like that.
I thought it was, frankly, I thought it was just the equivalent of the meat sweats, but for baklava.
So that's what I've got.
It's particularly odd because, like, you're seeing Celestia's now iridescent hair, like, plastered against
It's
the
like
sweat.
drooping.
Yeah.
Oh, my hair's actually wet. That's disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, you're gross right now.
I didn't look like sweaty and awful when I was talking to this person, did I? I was trying to be diplomatic.
No,
Don't think so.
no.
Ugh.
Mostly not.
Oh yeah, no, my hand's shaking. That's exciting. Woo!
Yeah, you should go lie down.
I think I should. This is day one without any.
Do you want
unless-
to have a large glass of milk? Because I know I never drank nearly as much as you did, but when I stopped drinking alcohol, I drank milk instead.
Did you like purposely stop at some point? I think I just didn't really think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't drink nearly as much as... There's a point where I
That's
suddenly
true.
went, you know what? I am an actual child.
Did you just like remember that was a thing?
Yeah, I suddenly went, you know what? I am actually a child and I've drunk a lot of alcohol and I just feel like maybe it's not a great idea.
I will happily have a glass of milk with you. I can't promise it'll stay in, but I'll have a go.
And
We have to go home now.
Well, we can try.
as you order and try and make your way through a glass of milk before to go with the last pieces of baklava, we are going to leave that there. And next time...
Oh, it doesn't stay down. I rolled,
dear.
it does
Oh,
not
it
stay down.
absolutely wouldn't.
Oh no.
I have it, I'm like, that was nice, and then throw up in an alleyway on the way home.
Okay, no more milk for you.
Oh no, I need to go to bed.
Scamp, hold their hair.
You're such a good friend.
Their hair holds itself. Look at it.
Not today, it doesn't.
Oh no, it's drooping.
Ugh.
And on that vomity note, we will pick up next time with the end of the second downtime session and the arrival of representatives of new representatives to the coming conference. But as I said, that is for next time. Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you all very much for playing. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s. An invite to this meeting place, perhaps even made in good faith. But can we e'er not be at odds with those who claim to worship gods?
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.